Hi, boys and girls, how are you? That's usually the greeting that we exchange, asking about the wellness of the boys and girls on the other side, right? And at the same time, I also bring with you an element of surprise. An element of surprise because it's all your subject teachers who have been talking to you with their academic lessons, and I was also feeling a little envious that I'm getting a chance to talk to you. So I thought today I'll surprise you and just have a chat with you. Well, let me just trace the way we started with the classes. We first started with the app, which almost went for a month, and then we moved to live on YouTube. But let us just see what are the pros and cons here. When we had this app, I guess that was very easy even for the teachers and students, provided the network was very cooperative, very strong for you to keep you connected with your teacher. And this connectivity helped you to have your lessons. But then you heard your teacher and you could watch the notes that were displayed on the screen, but you couldn't get a view of your teacher. And so that might have left you with a little grudge that, oh, if I had a view of my teacher, how nice it would be, right? So we were just thinking on this, and when we requested all the students that if you subscribe the APPA Public School Kalaburagi channel, and if the subscription can go beyond 1,000 numbers, then we would be able to go live. When we made this appeal with my colleagues, you all responded very encouragingly, and within a couple of days you gave us 1,000 subscribers and more, and we are still counting, right? So 1,000 subscribers gives us the eligibility to go live on YouTube. And we first started with a little rehearsal for the teachers where we recorded the classes and uploaded it on YouTube. And that was a preparatory stage for us that we now start going live, because that was a confidence that was growing among the teachers, and even with the students also we could see that they were more comfortable and they were more convenient when they watched their teacher giving the classes, and today we call it the virtual classroom. Especially maths and perhaps the other subjects also, it was a bit difficult for you, because when the steps come to you ready-made and get displayed on the screen, naturally it's a natural tendency for us as a student that I look at the other steps also, and when we have the steps there before we think, right, we tend to become crippled and a bit lazy because it's already solved there, so we don't try tickling our mind, isn't it? So we started with this live YouTube classes, and you should be congratulated for giving us 1,000 subscribers. And now that these classes are up, we want a little more encouraging response from your side. You have already responded very enthusiastically when you subscribed it. And now when we are going live, we want that attendance to be improved. Okay. On this channel, we are running 2 parallel batches now. One is for class 10 and one is those who have already passed class 10 from our school, but they are awaiting the results. Right? I mean, the students who are now with the bridge course. And since we have this drawback of not running multiple live channels, we have to rearrange ourselves. And in this rearrangement, we have got class 10 a little early. And there's one more reason why we have taken the students of class 10 a little earlier to your outgoing seniors. And that is, very soon we are getting this news, and it's quite a heartening news, that the classes are going to start. The schools are going to reopen. Of course, the classes are on there with app and now into your virtual classroom. Okay, the schools are going to reopen. The dates may be uncertain, but we are certain that school will reopen. And when the school reopens, a lot of precautionary things have to be taken. Okay, we will do that. But when it reopens, it will be late enough. So much so that we would have lost quite a considerable amount of time. And to give you that benefit of not losing your time, your teachers and the school is trying to give you these lessons. Okay, and when the school reopens, your timing again will be the same as it was last year. Perhaps you may have to come a little early, maybe 8 a.m. in the morning. And 8 a.m. because we have those selected students who are distributed in different batches who may have to come early. So this is a blessing in disguise even for those students, because the virtual classrooms are starting at 8 live, and so waking up prior to this time and keeping yourself fresh and very enthusiastic with a fresh attention towards the class is something that we expect from you. Okay, so naturally you will also develop this habit of waking up early, because in class 10 we don't expect you to wake up after 6 a.m. It should be before 6 a.m. Okay, so though you are at home enjoying the comfort of being at home, 8 is no mean time. You must be quick enough, alert enough to wake up before the time and keep yourself ready, connecting to these classes and ready to go live along with the teachers. But we are little disappointed with the strength that is coming up, because the attendance numbers are showing 120 max and we have 303 students. So somewhere 50+% of the students haven't been able to join the virtual classroom live. And this is little disappointing, a little painful, because we want you to be so smart enough, so lively, so cheerful that you must be early to your class. So see to it that at least hereafter you start joining our classes right at 8, and always remember there is a difference between watching the class live and watching them as a recorded video. It's all the difference, I guess. Even if you remember the words of Lakshmi Sagar, you may recall that, and I will recall it here for you now. And that is, when you watch a cricket match or any other match live, the thrill of watching that match, the suspense, all the drama that happens there is something that gives you goosebumps. It's something that leaves you on the edge of the chair, right? And you enjoy it so much so that the same enjoyment will not be found when you're watching it on a video, a recorded video. Because the results are already out, you know what's the outcome, and it is just a formality of watching that video there, which is recorded, right? So instead, I wish that you enjoy that thrill, that suspense, that excitement, all the ingredients of the drama, watching these classes live, right? So I want an improved strength, an improved attendance for these virtual classes which are going live for the past 3-4 days. Okay, so hope you will keep me at good heart when you start giving more numbers in your attendance. Okay, I believe that you will keep up my words. And then if I take a break here and ask you, who are you? Right? Who are you? Early in the class, it was a surprise that I come in here. And now when I take a break and ask you, who are you? It should be a little shocking for you, isn't it? Yes, it should be shocking. But even if you go beyond that shock and try answering it, what are the answers possible? One is, you can call yourself with your name, XYZ, so and so. And the second, you may say that I am a student of class 10 studying in the APPA public school. The first one is by the virtue of being born to your parents who have christened you with that name. And the second one is important for me. Because the second one is important, though it doesn't give you that individual recognition or identity, yet it gives you an identity as a student. right? And why for me the identity of being a student is important is because it recognizes you by your work, right? You are now working as a student of that particular class, of that particular school, and so you are identified as a student. And I would say this identity comes to you with your work. Now let me revert this question. If I revert this question and ask, who am I? I have a name Shankar, another name a teacher, another name the principal of this school. But I would like to associate myself as a teacher, identify myself as a teacher. Now if you ask me like, how is it that I know you? You know me because I am your teacher, right? And why am I a teacher? I teach you and so I am your teacher. You study and so you are a student, isn't it? So this is very important because the identity that comes with our work gives us a better recognition than the name that we have taken from our parents. They have blessed us with a name to identify ourselves, but the identity is something that comes with your work. Okay, that's why we say work is worship, and it's all about work. If the world wouldn't be at work, everything would have stood still. And if the world would have stood still, there would be an eerie silence everywhere. And where is liveliness then? Just think on that. We are all alive. We are alive because we work, right? We work because we think, right? So what is this work? It's all about our thought and actions coming together. Okay, so it's this thing, it's this concept that gives us an identity. And I personally believe, even professionally also, that we should be recognized by the work that we do. And if your work is to study, that's why you are a student. If my work is to teach, that's why I'm a teacher, right? So let's just go and see the abbreviation of what a student, the acronym of what a student would be, right? Okay, so just taking a children's route, I thought I will share this with you. So let me start this way. Let me put it STUDENT and T. Okay, this is something which is funny, interesting, amusing that we do. We would like to associate one triad of a student with this acronym. And what is it? Right? The first one. Why are we students? We are students because we study. How do we study? Matters. Right? So how are we going to study now? We need to study because we need to be studious. Right? So let me start with this and go here. Studious. Now what is studious? To be studious is to put your efforts consistently. Right? To be studious is about being hard worker. We just talked about our work, right? And we just can't take our work just like that. We need to put in our heart and mind into it. And what is the other way to succeed? Everybody wants to succeed in their life. And on achieving that success, each one becomes happy. So the ultimate destination is to be happy. I am happy if I achieve this. And to achieve that, I have to work. And how I should work? I have to work studiously. Right? We need to work very studiously, and so one who is studious has a hard-working character. And it goes without saying that hard work is the key to success. Isn't it? So hard work, hard work, hard work and hard work is the only mantra that can bring you success. Right? How hard you can work, how you can manage the time and work, all that is left to your wisdom. Right? And when you work, and when you start working from hard to harder, the hardest, you achieve your success. But it's not that easy as we talk about it. Working hard, working harder, working the hardest, and if you go beyond this, it can also be working harder than the hardest. Right? So there's no stop to that. It's a continuous process. Work. The end is the beginning is the end. It's a cyclic order. Right? So let's keep working. And so we get this triad for ourselves from student, the first letter, and that is studious. Right? So get up and start working, and let's develop this character of being a hard working student. No much words to mince, because hard work is the only key to success. Now let's move on to the next letter, and the next letter I get here is T, and with T I would say the next character, that is to be tenacious. Right? What is to be tenacious? To be tenacious is to be with a firm resolve. In other words, in our everyday language, we call it a strong determination, a strong dedication, a strong devotion towards our work. When we put this all 3 D's together, we get to understand what is to be tenacious. Right? The best way to tell what is tenacious is to work with such an attitude where you say, never give up. Right? You need to work with an attitude which says never give up. And when we say never give up, right, it means be it a success or be it a failure. Don't give up. Right? Keep working and working and working until you achieve that perfection. That perfection will decide what percentage of success you have achieved. Okay, if I talk about like maths, what is the perfection that we go with mathematics? The perfection that we get in solving every problem that is given to us step by step with a very logical conclusion arriving at the answer, that is perfect answer. And when it's a perfect answer, you get your perfect marks. If that is for that particular question, let's take all the questions together. And if you are able to have that perfection in all the problems, in giving solution to all these problems, a perfect solution, then definitely you are going to get a perfect score that's nothing less than 100 on 100. That is perfection. Right? With that perfection, you achieve your excellence. And what is that excellence that you achieve here? You get recognized as a student scoring 100 on 100 in this particular subject. Okay, so that's the excellence that you achieve over there. And it is this excellence, you call it, in other words, that's the success that I have achieved. Right? Okay, so be tenacious. Never give up. Come whatever. There are challenges, there are obstacles, there are hardships. But if I give up, I don't fight. Right? And if I'm not a fighter, I cannot achieve anything. I must try, irrespective of what the circumstances are. I must overcome all the trials and tribulations. Then I can understand what is that to achieve success. It just doesn't come to you like that. You need to put in a lot of efforts. Let me just put you with another equation. When you have these obstacles coming your way, when you have this hardships coming your way, right? It's very painful. Yeah, we do understand it's very painful, right? But without pains, are there any gains? I hope you'll agree with me if I say that if you don't take pains, there are no gains, right? It is going to be painful. That's why you end up with an enriching experience. And that enriching experience is nothing but the lessons that you have learned there, the wisdom that you have gained from the experience that you have undergone. Those are the best lessons of your life, right? So be tenacious, be with a never say die attitude, because you need to endure all this pain. Only when you endure all this pain, you can gain. Okay, so let's understand this and also adopt it in our life and get adapted to it in our everyday work. That yes, I know that if I don't take pains, I cannot make any gains. Right? So it is something about the sacrifice that you have to undergo. Right? What is that sacrifice? You have to let go a few of your pleasure moments, so that tomorrow you will have better moments to enjoy. Right? It's all the same. Let me put it this way. Right now, it's very easy for me, comfortable for me to enjoy and while away the time. But tomorrow, when I have to work hard, it would be very difficult for me to get into that hard working attribute. And as a result, I will not get what I want. So the desired result is not achieved. If the desired result is not achieved, then what are we for? Right? We are here to give a purpose to our life, to give a meaning to our life. Right? When I have a strong purpose that yes, this is class 10 and in class 10 my result matters a lot. And when I know that my result matters a lot, I need to get a good result. If I am able to get a good result, by the end of the year, will I be able to make it a better result? If I am with a better result, will I, in the process of this learning, make that better to best? Right? And even if it is the best, can I improve beyond that? There is a chance to improve beyond that. I can be better than the best. Right? For all this, you need to undergo a very painful experience. And I do understand that you also understand that experience is the best teacher. And why we call experience as the best teacher? Because it first puts us to test and then gives us the lessons. Isn't it? So let's understand that. Without any work, I am not going to gain anything. Right? If you work, you get an identity for yourself. You're born to your parents, you get that name, and when you leave this world, your name is gone. But what remains behind? What remains behind is the work that you have done for yourself and for the people around you, for your fellow men. Right? Service, that matters. But as a student, what matters? As a student, what matters for us is, what am I evolving myself into? Okay? If I started as not bad, I need to be good. If I started as good, I need to become better. If I started as better, I need to become the best. If I started as the best, I need to become better than the best. Okay? And through all this process, remember this, never give up. Okay, it's a never give up attitude that makes you tenacious, and so you have to be very studious and you have to be very determined. The firm resolve that you need to have, the purpose that you have to stick to, that this is my purpose, this is my dream, this is my ambition in class 10, and so I must achieve it. And I can only tell you that if ambition is the path to success, this never give up attitude, in other words, we call it persistence. Right? Persistence is the vehicle on which you drive and reach your success. So you have to be ambitious and you have to be persistent. Together, definitely you are going to make a brand for yourself as a very successful student. Okay? Right. So let's move to the next one. What is you that you are thinking about? Okay? Keep your thinking going on, and as I unfold it for you, for me, you means to be upbeat. Right? To be upbeat means what? To be upbeat is a kind of an upward trend. Right? Here the word improvement is very important for you. Right? What I am today is the result of yesterday. And what I am going to be tomorrow is the result of what I do today. If I repeat it, what I am today of what I did yesterday. Right? And what I am going to be tomorrow is what I am doing today. Okay? Again, it's your work that's going to be the decisive factor. If I have worked hard yesterday, today I feel better. And if I work harder today, tomorrow I feel the best. Right? Let's understand this principle of life. And right now here, to be upbeat means what? To be upbeat means to be cheerful. Right? And to be cheerful is what? To be lively. Okay? And when are you cheerful? Let me again resort to these two words. One is happy, being happy. Right? And the next one, I'll take it as being healthy. Okay? So happy and healthy, they go together. Healthy, you need to be healthy enough. When I say healthy, it also means that you should not fall ill. Right? Whatever is in your hands, do everything to prevent yourself from falling ill. And I can only tell you that if you have good regular habits, you very rarely fall ill. But if you don't have good regular habits, then definitely you are going to fall ill at intermittent times. I mean, very regularly you may fall ill. And what is the damage that happens when we fall ill? We remain absent to the school, we lose our classes. I may recover and come back and do my classes again, but a lot of time is required. You will be put to a lot of discomfort because that time which is lost, that also you have to do, and today what I am supposed to do also has to be done. I hope you follow this, right? We are putting ourselves into constraints. We are putting ourselves into discomfort, right? So to be happy and healthy is very important. If I have stepped into your classes sometime, and if you have noted it, I have been very particular about the way you wish, greet and welcome the teacher into the class. And if you remember, I have also told you that the mood of the class depends upon the way the students receive the teacher into the class. Right? You all stand up with a happy smile on your face. Right? You greet the teacher very cheerfully. Immediately there is some warmth in the class. Okay, and the teacher also gets touched by that warmth of the class. And mark my word, that will be a very beautiful class for you. That will be a very interesting class for you, very exciting class for you. Right? Because the teacher just can't stop being unaffected by the warmth that you want to share with the teacher. Right? If you are cheerful, if you are happy, if you have a smiling face, if you have a cheerful presence in the class, definitely it is going to be very infectious and everybody will be happy in the class. Okay? So that's again very important, that I need to be happy. The state of mind is very important. If you are very troubled, very disturbed and you are still listening to the class, I guess you wouldn't grasp anything. Right? Because your mind is already diverted, distracted, disturbed. It doesn't have the peace of mind. And so the student would be unable to pay his or her attention towards the teaching or towards the teacher. Right? And definitely the lessons will not get in. Okay, so what happens here? I am in the class. I am not able to concentrate on what is happening there. And so I lose my lessons. Then why should I be in the class for? Isn't it? It's a very puzzling question. So when I am in the class, I am meant there to pay attention to the teacher. To pay attention to the teacher, I should have that peace of mind. Right? To have that peace of mind, I must be happy. Okay, but I cannot make my happiness relative to or subject to the conditions around. I need to be motivated, self-motivated, because I need to keep myself happy. If I'm happy, naturally the lessons that I listen to, the teaching that I listen to also becomes a happy experience. If you're sad, if you're disturbed, if you're angry, these things are not going to get into your head. And it's a waste of time. And then we have to regret later for not only the loss of time, but also the loss of the lesson. Right? So always try and keep yourself hale and hearty. Always try to see that you keep yourself in a happy state of mind. You can even test this. Right? The moment that you are happy, the moment that you are very excited, you read something with your heart and mind into that reading. Okay? And then you see the pleasure of that reading, it will just get imprinted on your mind. And try to recall it anytime when you want. It comes back in an instant. Okay? So have that pleasure. Many a time we complain that I just forgot, I read it. But why you are not able to? Because there's some pressure on our mind. There's something else playing on our mind when I'm doing one work. So we cannot have multiple things on our head when I am doing my studies. Try, keep them away, and put your heart and mind into your studies. That will make you a better learner, right? And the better you learn, obviously the better you become. Okay, so be happy and be healthy. Healthy habits. Very necessary that I develop healthy habits. And one habit is something that comes to my mind. When we have ample time, we take it easy. And when the deadline approaches, we start hurrying up to do our work. So what happens here? I am doing my work in a haste. When I do my work in a haste, obviously I am not doing it 100%. And if you are not doing it 100%, then naturally you cannot expect any 100% result for yourself. So don't do it in a haste. Divide your work in the time that's available to you. Time management. Right? So that whatever you work very efficiently. Whatever you work, you do it very refreshingly. Whatever you work, you do it very excitingly. Okay? And that reflects your happy mood. And when we talk about being healthy, right? I just came with that example, I'll get back to that. And when the deadline approaches, we start hurrying up and we start preparing ourselves in a haste. Right? So what I can sustain for say 7 days, right? The work that I need to do for 7 days, if I try to do it in 1 or 2 days, will I be able to sustain? I don't think it is possible. It's only a consolation for oneself that, oh, I studied it. What I couldn't study in 4, 5, 6, 7 days, I could just finish it in 2 days. But see the output, right? Whatever you have studied, have you been able to assimilate? Have you been able to record it on your mind? No guarantee. And at a time when you want to recall that, it doesn't strike you. And when it doesn't strike you, we come out with complaints. And what's that complaint? The complaint is, I studied but I just didn't remember. Okay? So the healthy habits that we develop, be it keeping our health, be it with our work, the healthy habits is very important. Okay, and I hope you remember that habit when you take out each of the letter from there, how it still clings on, right? Habit, remove H, I still have a bit. You remove A next and you still have bit. When you remove B, you still have it. Isn't it? So habits are very important. And one of the healthy habits for students is this, that when you listen to the class very attentively, with all your concentration, with your heart and mind into that, it gets imprinted on your mind very strongly. Believe it. And also think on this, right? Whatever you have listened that day in the class, in the next 24 hours, even science tells that, in the next 24 hours, if you revise it thoroughly, it's going to be long lasting on your memory. Your memory also becomes strong. So that is the reason why it is said that we must do day-to-day work. When we do it day-to-day, we are taking it little by little, right? And this little by little, with every passing day, you see what's the amount of learning that you have done at one, say after a month or so, you will be amazed at that. Instead, what happens if I have an unhealthy habit, if I don't do my work on daily basis, I try doing it all at once. Okay, and that is only a formality, a consolation, as I told you a little earlier, that I have done it. I am only trying to pacify myself that I have done it, right? But what comes out of it? Very sorry, nothing. Okay, so develop healthy habits, and one of the healthy habits for the students is to do your work on your daily basis, right? Keep your studies going day to day, because that will not become a burden at a later point of time. It will be so easy. You can even compare yourself. You have been studying each day, right? And when the day of the exam comes, or a day prior to your test or anything like that, you are so cool, you are so calm, right? And you are revising the lessons because you have already read them, you have already studied them. Okay, and what are you doing? You are just trying to give a finishing touch to that. And when you see another person who hasn't studied, who has been making merry all the time when you were studying, and then this person comes in there, right, and tries to show up that whatever I couldn't do when I was making merry, I'm going to do it in just 1 or 2 days. And he does that. Okay, he is telling himself that I have done it. But how is a question. The quality of your work matters. Okay, and when the results are declared, believe me, the student who wrote the exam with a calm composure would be faring better than the person who did it in a haste at the end. Okay, because your temperament matters. If you go to your exam with a cool temperament, right, everything starts falling into your favor. Okay, and as you sit calm and try to recall your answers, you will be simply so happy over there that I wanted to remember this, and instantly they are coming in. It's striking in my memory that this is the answer. I remember that. I can recall that. I can represent the answer there. Okay? And those are the students who are going to get the maximum benefit of their hard work, because hard work never goes a waste. It pays. Right? And when it pays you very strongly. And when I say very strongly, you just can't believe that, oh, my hard work has brought such a wonderful result for me. And when this becomes a habit for you, then you can just check out how promising your life can be. Right? Day-to-day work is one of the healthiest habits for a student, and so keep doing that. Be healthy, be happy, and that's what says upbeat. And when you go for your exams, I talk about exams because it's class 10, right? Just be it the board exams, be it your school exams, be it your class test, or be it the test of your life. You are in such an upbeat mood because you are ready. You are ever ready because you didn't keep anything like I will study for tomorrow. Whatever was the share of study for that day, you have done it on that day. Come whatever. I have to enjoy a movie, that doesn't matter to us. But it matters whether you have finished that quota of study that you were supposed to do that day or not. If you have done it, great. If you have not done it, next day it becomes a burden because you have to do that day's study, and this also adds to that, and the burden becomes heavier and heavier. And you say you cannot complete it on that day, again it gets postponed to the next day. So this kind of procrastination of time, postponing your work, making excuses is something that's not going to work for you. So stop making excuses, stop procrastination of your time. Do your studies on daily basis, day-to-day basis. Definitely you are going to have a very promising future, and I'm sure that you will come out with flying colors once your results are declared. Right? So keep yourself happy and keep yourself healthy. They are very decisive for you to keep your studies going on. When you are happy, you are very cheerful to do your studies. When you are healthy, you are not going to lose anything. Okay? So that keeps you in touch. So do develop these healthy habits, be happy, and keep going. And the next one, dangerously. Right? But let's see how beneficial it's going to be, but not dangerous. And if you are thinking on that, it's right if you are thinking on that. It's something that we call it discipline. Perhaps students feel very sick of this word, discipline, right? But the word has such an enormous meaning to itself that it can encompass all the characters of a successful person. But unfortunately, we have made such a hackneyed word, we have made it so sick kind of a word that discipline suddenly starts creating an allergy for us. Okay? And the one who has developed an allergy to discipline, he will die as an allergic. Remember. Right? But somebody who has taken discipline very seriously is going to lead a very beautiful life, a very happy life, a healthy life. Let's say, okay, how do we define this now, discipline? Okay, I have two concepts how I can describe you. One, you could call it a training, right? A training that makes you what you are. A training that is expected to bring some desired result in you. And what is that? And that is molding your character, grooming your character. And what is that? Your mental character and your intellectual character. Your mental character, your moral uprightness. Okay? And the next one, that is about how you keep yourself with your studies, with your work, with your people around you, everybody. Okay, so you get it very right over there. One is your mental character, the next one is your intellect. When I say mental character, it's about, when I say mental character, it's about your intellectual progress. Okay, and when I call it as something which is moral, it says how upright you are going to be. Okay, so both have to work together. Your intellectual as well as your moral evolvement is necessary to discipline yourself. So one is train yourself, right? Training yourself to achieve a desired result. Okay, and the second one is the principles that you have. What have you decided? Principles, it's not something very philosophical thing in your life. Very simple, very practical, let's keep it. And what is that? Principles is about practice, right? What is that practice? What you preach. There shouldn't be difference between your preaching and your practicing. Preach in the sense like, I want to tell myself that, okay, today I'm going to do this work. Come whatever, I'm not going to leave the campus without doing this work. Commitment, right? And that's only a promise that you have done. But the promise is not going to make a difference until you practice it. And you practice it to the last. Okay? So these two become very important. What is that practice and what is that preach? Your preach are your word, your thoughts, and your practice is your action. Right? Your thoughts and action become important. And I hope you remember this primary rhyme that we had. I do hope you remember that, and perhaps it's even quoted many a time during the course of your schooling. Right? Watch your thoughts, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your habits. Watch your habits, healthy. Right? Watch your habits, they become your character. Right? So if I go through this process, the first and the last, it's your thought process that's going to decide what kind of a character you are going to develop in yourself. What kind of personality you want to groom in yourself. It's all your thoughts. If your thoughts are good, your actions are good. If your actions are good, your habits are good. If your habits are good, your character is good. Your personality is good. Your personality is something that outshines the others. Right? So we need to be very careful about it, and that's a simple way of telling what discipline is. Discipline is जो बोलता हूँ उसको करता हूँ. Right? What you speak, you need to practice. So if you can bridge this distance and make your preach and practice work in tandem with each other, you are going to be an outstanding student. Not just student, it becomes so much integral part of your character that even after you pass out of the institution, or say even if you leave behind your student days and get into your professional days, even as a professional, you will keep yourself upbeat. Right? You will keep yourself above others. Right? You become a class apart. Okay. The end result is very tantalizing. The end result is very exciting. The end result is something, I want to be like that. But we must have to look behind and check out how much painful it has been to reach that. How much hard work has been put to achieve that. Okay? So nothing comes that easy. Everything is a process. And you need to put yourself into that process thoroughly. Get yourself grind in that. Then you come out as a thorough person. Right? Okay, so discipline. Let's not take much of its time. Training and principles. And what is this discipline? It shows on your bearing. When I say bearing, it's your personality. Okay? It's your personality. What is that? The appearance of your personality. Right? That's one. And the next one, the actions of your personality. So both have to match again. Okay, it's not just like looking smart, looking handsome, looking beautiful. That's not enough. Your actions should also be smart, handsome and beautiful enough. That makes you disciplined. Right? So for that, I can again resort to the same words. Who is disciplined? One who is very determined. Right? If I talk about your school days. Okay, many a time you have been reminded that you, as boys, you need to have a proper haircut. As girls, you need to put proper plaits. Right? As boys, you need to keep your bottoms of this particular size. You cannot have that narrow bottom. Okay? And your and the length of your trousers should fall on your shoe where only 2 eyelets are seen. All these are there. But have I taken care to be so disciplined to make myself stick to that kind of a description, for that kind of a definition? We need to think on that. Okay, right from the top to, right from the head to the toe, it should be in tandem with the other. Right? It all should go together as one unit. And then discipline really shows upon you. Right? You need not say anything, but it tells about you. Right? So let's be disciplined, let's be determined, let's be devoted. Okay? Let's be dedicated to what we are supposed to. So it's all about that. So let's just wind up with this statement: training, principles and training. Let me tell that. Right? When you come into class 10, perhaps you come with a resolve or a wish that I must be a better student than what I was in class 9. Okay, that's a good pledge that you have undertaken. That's a good resolve that you have taken up. Okay, but if you don't back up with your actions, if you don't support it with your actions, it's simply going to fade away and you will remain as worse as you were, or even worse than what you were. Right? So it's very important that I need to be disciplined. And second point to be reminded here is self-discipline. If I am self-disciplined, perhaps nobody will raise a pointer finger at me. Right? So self-discipline is of utmost importance when compared to the enforced discipline. Enforced discipline is something for a time being, because you do it because you have been forced to do it. And once that force is gone away, discipline will not stay there. So instead, let me make it self-discipline. I'll conclude this discipline with just one simple example there. Irrespective of whether the room invigilator is there in my room or not during your exams. Right? If I'm a self-disciplined person, even if I get a chance to copy or to cheat, I will not do that. Definitely I will not do that, because I am a self-made man. I cannot take somebody's alms and then get my marks. Beat me the over marks, something like that. I can't beg my answers from anybody. I am not a beggar there, because I am self-disciplined. I have worked hard, and I will do whatever possible from my side, with my own efforts rather. Okay, and if it is an enforced discipline, as long as the invigilator is there, you are very prompt, very honest. The moment the invigilator moves here and there, you start looking here and there for your answers. Right? So that means when the invigilator was enforcing the discipline upon you, you never looked left and right or front or back. The moment you were sure that the invigilator is not noticing you, you started doing your wrongdoings. Okay, so let's be self-disciplined. When I am self-disciplined, nobody ever tells anything to me. Okay, and that gives you a sense of self-respect. And a man of self-respect will not allow anybody to speak ill about himself. Okay, so very necessary that we must be self-disciplined. Okay, now next, coming to the next E. And what is that next E? Guess as I pen this letter for you. What is that? Okay, I'm going to take a very everyday word. What is it? Yes, if you're reading it right, it is about enthusiastic. One needs to be very enthusiastic. What is that enthusiastic? It's nothing but being full of energy. It's nothing but being lively. Right? When does it come to you? It comes to you when you have a never say never die spirit. Right? I'm going back to the same thing. I'm telling you, like when you have this never give up attitude, you are really a very enthusiastic person. Okay, and it is also said, hope you have heard it, that if not for the enthusiasm, the world wouldn't have changed. Right? So this enthusiasm is something of a kind of a motivation in you that motivates you to do the best possible. Right? And what is that motivation? If I were to refer to an example and tell you, right? That motivation is something like, oh, let's say a fish. Okay? I'm watching a fish very closely and I'm wondering how this fish swims there and all that in the water. Right? And why can't I think something on that? Or birds flying. Okay, perhaps these are the instances that have really inspired an enthusiastic thought process, as a result of which the flying of the bird helped mankind to invent an aeroplane, and the fish in the water inspired the mankind to invent a submarine. Right? So these are small things around us, and if we are very sensitive to it, if we can register a sense of inspiration in ourselves while we watch these things, definitely they are going to make a difference in us. Okay, we need to be very enthusiastic, right? Let's say like you are preparing for a match. Okay, the spirit of enthusiasm has to be there. And if it's a team game, a team spirit. Now, are you going to prepare for that match saying that, right? You just tell this and prepare for a match? We never do that, right? Instead, if I have a purpose, and the purpose is I want to win this match, right? And that purpose is to win. And when the purpose is to win, I need to put all my energy into that. I need to put all my enthusiasm into that. I need to put all my liveliness into it. I need to put all my skill into it. I need to put all my efforts into it. All this because you are enthusiastic. So when you have decided yourself that I'm going to do this, and with all that enthusiasm, you are preparing so much, right? You are preparing so much that with the ability of that cheerful of disposition, you are going to give the best contribution for your team. And if this can inspire your teammates also, the same energy levels in your team, and look what wonder a team can create. And I hope you remember that acronym of team. Together, each achieves more. Each one achieves more. That's the spirit of a team game, right? All this is possible because we are enthusiastic. I must be very curious when I sit into the class. When I'm listening to a lesson, right? I need to awaken that curiosity in my mind, right? And what is that curiosity? That curiosity is about what is next, what is next, how it can be. So this HW words, if you have it in your mind when you're listening to your class, I guess that will really put you into a better frame of mind. And when you receive your lessons with all enthusiasm and you contemplate on that, you work on that, naturally the results are also such that they make that they are very enthusiastic, very exciting, and your results become so exciting that you also become so ecstatic to share your results with others. So enthusiasm has a lot to do more than the word enthusiastic. So stay energetic, right? Stay excited, be ecstatic, enthuse yourself with that motivation in you to do better, the best. Definitely you will evolve yourself into a better person, right? So keep this word unto yourself, enthusiastic, and keep this as much as you can keep it in you. So once enthusiasm is done, let me go to the next one. Guess what can I be writing with this N? Okay. There are two words that came to my mind. Both I shall be representing it to you. One is N to be noteworthy. Okay, in other words, we say we need to be a remarkable student. And the next one, nobility. Why is it necessary to keep a nobility in your character? Very important. You could have heard it from around, and that is, talent and hard work may take you to the top. Okay? Talent and hard work can take you to the top. But what keeps you at the top? It is your nobility of your character. Right? And if you have this nobility of your character and that keeps you consistently on the top, then you become a very noteworthy personality, a very noteworthy student, very remarkable. Okay? And how do you become this remarkable student? Okay, we say that अब समय आ चुका है भीड़ से बाहर आने की. You need to give a standout performance. Okay, only then you can reach the top. And once you reach the top, give the standout performance consistently, then you become a noteworthy person there. Right? Otherwise, you will come one day and next day you are forgotten. I hope you understand that. Okay? Like once you achieve some success, and so you are a newsmaker, and slowly you fade away, and so is your name. So where are you gone? You are lost in the dark. Okay? So be able enough to stay there. It may not take much for you to reach the top, but it takes a lot for you to stay there. Okay? So you need to have this nobility of character. What is that nobility of character? Nothing. If you can sum up all these things, make a package of all these things, and if you are able to deliver this package, that is the nobility of your character. And if you have this nobility of the character, by inculcating these things in you, by making a different person of yourself, an improved person of yourself, then naturally you become a remarkable student. You become an outstanding student. Right? And when you become remarkable, when you become outstanding, it is not just only your studies that counts. It's your studies. When you are a student, you need to have a wholesome personality. Right? It's your studies, yes. Along with studies, what are the other things? Studies will tell you only about your scholastic abilities. Okay? And what is required? The scholastics are only a qualification for you. If you want to prove yourself as an asset to any institution that you work for, you need the other side of that. Okay? You need the other side of that, and the other side of that is your post-scholastic abilities. What is that post-scholastic abilities? Your artistic abilities, the skill that you have developed, the efficiency of your work that you can create. A lot of things. Perhaps in school, it's very difficult to understand the value of these post-scholastic abilities that are developed through these post-scholastic subjects. But if we don't develop this, we cannot be a complete student. We cannot achieve that wholesome personality for ourselves. That will not make a holistic approach towards the grooming of a character. A grooming of a character who stepped into the school as a child and walks out as a gentleman. Right? I hope you understand that child coming into the school, and when you walk out as the ambassador of the school. And when you're walking out as an ambassador of the school, you must be a remarkable person. You must be a noteworthy person. Where you are an exemplary. Right? And when I say exemplary, it only means that if a student has to be there, he should be like him. Right? It can be you also. So that is how we need to have our stay in the school. And in this schooling, all this grooming will take place. Once you're out of the schooling, there's no much chance for that. Right? So to groom your personality, your school gives you a wonderful platform. Use that platform to your best. When you use your platform to the best, you become the best. And we wish that you take all the best facilities, opportunities that are given to you, and you become the best student. Right? So noteworthy and nobility of character, that become an integral part of your personality, and they become the jewel in the crown of your personality. So do develop that nobility of character, and with that automatically comes your remarkableness. right? Obviously you become a noteworthy person. Okay, done. So let's now go to the last one. And what is that last? Yes, one T we had this being tenacious, and this T, what should we have now? At the end of your class, what do you tell your teacher? Maybe very heartily also, and sometimes you tell it because you just want to get rid of that teacher or the class. Okay, the recent way of saying enough is enough, thank you, leave the class, isn't it? Okay, so let's get back, right? Thankful. We have to be thankful. If we have this thankfulness, then it makes a huge difference in our life. It adds a sense of fullness in our life. If I talk to you about you being a student and why you should be thankful to the people around you, right? If I can list the people just on my fingers, okay? You need to be thankful to your parents because they have given you the best of the chance to live your life to the best. Whatever possible by them, they have tried extending it to you. They have tried bestowing it upon you. And at times they have even showered upon you their blessings, their comforts, their resources, their emotions, everything they have bestowed upon you. And for the life that we live on this earth, and as kids we do say that because God cannot be everywhere, so He has created mother and father, we need to be thankful to them. Right? So just see that. Express your thankfulness to your parents and you see there is a kind of a relaxation in you. There's a kind of a pleasure that you enjoy. Right? A pleasure which is sublime, noble enough. Okay. Now next, if that's your parents there, and then your brothers and sisters, right? They are there as a part of your life. Okay. And they have given you hard times as well as sweet times. You have a sweet, bitter experience with them. Right? But they've also shown you what is that sharing. Okay, so you need to be thankful to your brothers and sisters in many more ways that they have helped you for. Okay? And next, you come to the school. You need to be thankful to your teachers. Just imagine the kind of work the teachers do it for you. At times you anger them, but they still bear that. At times you make them so happy. They get so inspired by that. They feel so content with that. They feel so happy that today, arey, this was my student who really made my day. And when you become the person where the teacher tells, you are the one who made my day, just imagine, joy unbounds. Right? So be thankful to your teachers for everything they do. They are teachers, they are parents, they are friends, they are your confidants. Okay, so let's be thankful to our teachers. And that's not all. There are friends around you. You need to be thankful to them also. Right? There's a peer group working with you. I mean your friends who are working with you. They also have cast a lasting impression upon you. They have also had their influence upon you. So that also matters. So for people around us, the opportunity that we have got, we need to be thankful for all this. Right? That's why I said, like if you're thankful, it adds a fullness to your life. So you might be wondering now, what is that fullness in your life? Right? And what is that fullness? And that fullness is, it has given you so many things. Like, okay, if you're at your house, if you're thankful to your parents, the house gets transformed into a home. Okay? If there's a stranger and you befriend your stranger, you are thankful to your stranger, that stranger becomes your friend. Just think on that. Every friend of yours today was a stranger once. And why did he turn into a friend? Because of your thankfulness towards that stranger was transformed into your friend. Right? So, a meal, right? A meal turns into a feast. A meal that you just want to have it yourself, alone. And when your friends come and share, look at that joy. Look at that pleasure of sharing there. Right? That if that sharing is loving is caring and all that, you just enjoy that. The rhymes that you heard in your primary classes, you virtually feel that here. And when they share it, it just multiplies and multiplies. Right? So let us be thankful to everyone, because without the collaborative effort with all the people who are directly or indirectly involved in our life or have made an influence in our life, we wouldn't have been so successful. Okay, like I missed out a few people over there. We need to be thankful in the school even to the attenders, even to the drivers, because they drive you safely right from your home to the school, and because you come here safe, hale and hearty, happy and healthy, we are able to conduct the lessons, isn't it? So everybody, it's a collaborative. It's an effort where everybody is involved, right? So success is not just an individual success. Success is comes after a collaborative effort, right? There are parents who stand by us through our difficult and good times, hard times and good times, right? There are friends who keep us comforting. Come on, you can do it. Come on, don't give up. Difficult times, I feel like the world has stopped for me. I just don't want to move on next. Perhaps your friend inspires you, motivates you, cajoles you, comforts you, pacifies you, and suddenly you see a change in your life. Right, friends? Even teachers. Okay, sometimes the teachers make the subject so interesting for you, and sometimes the subject is so interesting that the teacher becomes interesting for you. Right? But your interest matters. Okay, so everywhere you go, in every walk of your life, we have people around us to whom we have to be very thankful. And with that sense of gratitude, what is that? Gratitude is, thankfulness is not just about saying thank you. It's about being what we are, worthy enough of saying thank you. Right? So I just tell that it's something where it is a collaborative work. Okay? And this collaborative work means that every person around me has more or less a very decisive role to play in my life and will cast a lasting influence upon me, as a result of which I am what I am today. Right? So let us be thankful to all, and above all, let us be thankful to that God for giving us such a wonderful opportunity on this earth and giving us that wisdom for us that we need to have a purpose that we need to fulfill, giving us that wisdom of deriving a meaning to our life. So with that meaning and purpose being associated with our life, or say, if we can give a meaning and purpose to our life would become very successful. Right? So as students, I was just talking to you, who are you? I am a student. If you are a student, you are worthy to be called a student if you can put all these qualities in you. Right? They are not just going to come or drop from heaven like that. You need to earn it. You need to practice it. You need to inculcate it. You need to develop in you. And then I can tell you, you have got a wholesome personality. Right? So, at the end, I must tell you that we have started with the virtual classrooms, and keep yourself very attentive and regularly attend these classes, because time once lost cannot be regained. And these lessons cannot be done the way we are doing it with ample time on our hand. Because once the school reopen, I guess that would be too late for us to start with these lessons. We'll have the other lessons to be completed, and even if we have time, we may not be able to do it the way we are doing it right now. So you have ample time, so use that time and be thankful to God for having got that opportunity, and be thankful that amidst this kind of a contagious atmosphere that's around, we are still safe in our homes. Okay? So stay safe, stay healthy, but at the same time, come out in larger numbers to attend these live classes on YouTube and enjoy the thrill of you being a student there live into your virtual classrooms. So hope to see you in large numbers. Okay? Enjoy your time.